It's halftime at the Orange Bowl. Florida State leads 14-7. Scott Covington, can he pull the upset? We'll find out.
Rather go to a real race? During the Napa 500 Great Start Sweepstakes, you could win one of 8 trips to Daytona Speed Weekend or the grand prize, a trip to Daytona, $10,000 cash, and be the honorary starter of the Napa Auto Parts 300. So come into any Napa Auto Parts store for details. Napa Oil, 59 cents a quart after rebate.
Why are business travelers choosing Sleep Inn? The well-lit grounds? The electronic locks? The walk-in showers? Complimentary breakfast? Because it's a place that understands the needs of the business traveler. It's all those things. Plus the service.
Hey, knock it off.
Is incredible. If you're traveling on business, stay at Sleep Inn, in a class by itself.
Some things can never be taught in a classroom. You won't find them in any textbook. And with Fixident's long-lasting hold, you'll be ready, no matter where the lesson takes you. For long-lasting hold, Fixident and forget it.
This is for my parents, who believe in my dreams. And for myself, for my future.
Buy a set of 4 selected Goodyear tires before November 28th and get a $50 or $100 U.S. savings bond. For the retailer nearest you, call 1-800-GOODYEAR.
Illegal Ultimate Fighters.
Where did they find these freaks?
Arkansas.
Are about to meet the LAPD's ultimate weapon.
Nice move.
Martial law on CBS tonight.
Just moments away from the start of the second half, Florida State leads Miami 14-7. Craig Bolerjack, Ed Gunningham back along here at the Orange Bowl. Ed, last year in Tallahassee, 47-0. Florida State dominated every aspect of this football game. This year, it's a touchdown at the half. How surprised are you? This is shaping up to be one of the big surprises of the day.
Yeah, I'm not very surprised. When I watched both teams on film, it was very apparent that Miami had the tools to compete with Florida State. The question I had was their depth. Can they compete for 60 minutes? We'll find out in the second half.
All right, Ed, let's take a look at our Coors Light halftime stats. The numbers tell a lot. We talked about rushing yards. Both teams struggling from that department, but both quarterbacks, Winky and Covington, get some stuff done through the air.
Yeah, but the difference has been the penalties. It looks like they're about even, but the difference has been Miami. All of their penalties have come after big plays on offense. They've had over 100 yards of total offense called back after penalties. You can't continue to do that type of thing against a quality opponent like Florida State.
What type of grade would you give Covington and Winky?
Well, Covington had those 2 balls dropped. One of them would have been a touchdown to Santana Moss. Winky has had 2 balls severely underthrown that Peter Warwick made great plays on. Marvin Minnis made a great play for a touchdown. Both of them had shaky first halves, but you know, both of those guys, a little inexperienced, although fifth-year senior Covington, sophomore Winky. This is their first year as starters in major college football.
Sebastian Janikowski has it teed up at the 35. 14-7 Florida State as we start the third quarter here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Najee Davenport, boy, he just can't get out of the end zone. Another fine boot by Janikowski, 5 yards deep.
Bobby Bowden said Janikowski might be our best weapon. I mean, if you continue to boom the ball like he does on kickoffs and on field goals. Last week against Maryland, Janikowski, 5 field goals tied a Florida State record. not very often that a coach like Bobby Bowden would say, hey, my best weapon, especially with guys like Peter Warwick, is our kicker.
Also hasn't missed a point after. He's 17 of 17. In 1998, if you look at Bowden and a 7-point lead, Hurricanes with the football to start the third quarter. And they're going to try to grind a few yards right up the middle. Edgerrin James picks up a few. 220-pound junior. He's one of 39 grandkids. I'd like to have Thanksgiving there. Grandma's out.
Would not want to cook the turkeys on that day. Kind of how Miami started the first half. Remember the onside kick, so Miami gets the ball at the beginning of the game and the second half, but just trying to grind it out.
Swing pass complete out to Will Parkland. He's the third-string fullback. That's his first reception of the season. Number 35, a sophomore from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
I love guys like Will McPartland, a former walk-on in this program, given a scholarship by Butch Davis just because he continued to work, stayed around the program when it was down. Came a long way to go to school. It's nice to see that Butch Davis awarded him a scholarship.
Third down and 6, 3 wide receivers. Covington, handoff, here comes James. And he slips through a couple of tackles up to the 29. He's just going to be just about a yard shy of a first down.
Boy, if James could just have kept his feet for another split second, he might have been able to dive forward for that first down. This game, the second half, not quite starting like the first half, not quite as exciting as that first half beginning was.
Feaster back to receive the kick of Crossland. Hangs it high. Hits it midfield, so the Seminoles are going to have fine field position on their first possession of the second half. A 20-yard kick. Seminoles lead by 7.
At last, a mini SUV with enough power to take you anywhere you want to go. And enough space and comfort to make the journey enjoyable. Introducing the all-new V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
Excuse me, is that really a Suzuki? It's very nice.
Presenting my lovely wife, Linda!
At Transamerica, we have insurance products and investments for all kinds of families, no matter how much risk you're willing to take. The people in the pyramid, working for you.
Well, look at you. Me. You are one delicious-looking pizza.
Thanks a lot.
And there's only one thing that would make you an even better pizza.
What's that?
If you were me.
Funny.
Get 2 Little Caesars pizzas with 3 toppings for just $10.99.
Pizza.
Need brakes? Come to Midas for a break on brakes. Now just $69.95 after rebate. You'll get our standard brake service and our lifetime guarantee. Midas is $69.95 brakes. It's worth stopping for.
At Transamerica, we have insurance products and investments for retirement that'll help you plan for your next career. The people in the pyramid, working for you.
And a beautiful view of scenic Miami. First time we've seen the sun this afternoon at the Orange Bowl.
Chris Weinke and Scott Covington looking at the comparison. The difference here, Weinke has been bailed out on some poor throws. Scott Covington, on the other hand, has had some big balls dropped early. Santana Moss dropped one that was a for sure touchdown.
High formation. Weinke going deep. That ball went through the hands of Myers, and somehow Menace made the catch. You got to be kidding. 24 yards. You know, you wanted to utter interception, but somehow Florida State.
Winky gets hammered after the throw by the Miami defense. But again, Chris Winky gets bailed out. This time it's Marvin Menace's turn. Goes over the top of Myers. Myers not able to get up and make the catch. Menace goes 6'1", good leaping ability. And there are those receivers from Florida State. They've been the difference in this ball game.
Now, Menace was the guy who got that touchdown to help out Winky. 4 catches now for Menace for 70 yards.
And he's a guy, almost the forgotten, with Lavernius Coles, Ron Dugans, Peter Warwick. He's the 4th guy, having a great day. Let's not forget the touchdown that he had on another poorly thrown ball by Winky. He had to come back to make the catch in the end zone.
3 wide receivers set. Cheney picks up a couple down to the 20-yard line. Tackled by Michael Smith. Strong side linebacker.
Number 59, Michael Smith. There's another Smith that played linebacker here a few years ago, now with the Seattle Seahawks. Was a great player for the University of Miami. Michael Smith, a good player in his own right.
Winky throws sideline. Inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Dugans. So Winky right now kind of sharing the ball around him. It's the Menace and then Dugans, and now you have to set up your big guy. You think Warwick may come into play?
Then you got to figure, when does he become a factor? Dugans, the biggest receiver that Florida State has, at 6'3". And you feel the momentum. The momentum had shifted towards Florida State at the end of the half. Red zone offense for Florida State, though, this year has been pathetic. Bobby Bowden told us, hey, we should just line up and get field goal to save time.
Off the left side, not much to the 7. Now, Florida State has scored only 2 touchdowns in their last 11 trips inside that red zone.
Yeah, the red zone has been a real stickler for Florida State. One thing that they have always excelled at has now become kind of an Achilles heel to them this year. 36% in the red zone, the national average 62%. You would not expect that with a Florida State team.
But a guy named Sebastian Janikowski's bailed you out. Hit 5. Tiny pass, floats it up, and complete. He wanted Warwick.
There's the shot that you had talked about. When do you expect Peter Warwick to get back in the ball game? Winky seems to have calmed himself a little bit, a little more confident in the pocket in this second half. But like I was talking about, the momentum. The end of the half, you kind of felt it start to go towards Florida State. They've picked up right where they left off in the second half. And again, the question becomes, can Miami, who was amazing on defense, especially in the first quarter flying around, have they started to slow down because they just don't have any quality backups?
Third down. Oh, that answered you right there. Well, what a pop by Nate Webster, number 52. He's a sophomore, hometown guy from Miami.
Nate Webster, Dan Morgan's kind of the guy who gets all the pub, but Nate Webster comes on a blitz right up the middle on number 57. Eric Thomas gets around him and catches Cheney in the backfield. Boy, Nate Webster, you know, everyone wants to talk about Dan Morgan as the guy. Nate Webster, 60 tackles coming into today's game. He's a good player himself. 5th tackle of the day for Webster. This will be a 27-yard try by Janikowski. And there you go in the red zone. Florida State unable to score a touchdown. Janikowski from 27. And Florida State builds a 17-7 lead.
Oh, Peter Lynch. I'm Susie, your stress technician, trainee. Not to worry. Here we go. Wow, under control.
This reminds me of the stock market.
It can't just shoot up without warning.
Sure can.
And then drop.
25% or more, 4 times since 1970.
So stressful.
You know, Fidelity can help you better prepare for the market's ups and downs.
For the free guide, Investing in Volatile Markets, call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
Well, you're stress-free.
I think the most important feeding is the one that you start in the fall, so your lawn starts to look healthier in the spring, and consequently you need Scott's Winterizer. When I put down Winterizer in the fall, it allows us to develop a good strong root base, and it allows the lawn to endure the winter weather, and you get a real early greening. This grass is beautiful, thick, deep green. People will stop by and say, "How'd you do that?" Scott's Winterizer gives the grass a kickstart in the fall and makes it really look great in the spring.
Outside, it's got more power than any SUV in its class. Inside, it's as quiet as the open plains. Introducing the all-new V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
That's a Suzuki!
I hope she got my good side.
NASDAQ College Football on CBS is sponsored by Suzuki, Fidelity Investments, Little Caesars, and by Enterprise.
Hot and sticky day at the Orange Bowl. Florida State now with a 10-point lead, 17-7. Janikowski floats it deep. Oh, baby.
And I don't think it's playable.
That's 75-yard kicks.
Man, he is banging the ball. You got to wonder if this guy could kick one from 70 yards. I bet with a little wind behind him, he could get out that far. Now, if you are Miami on offense, stick to your game plan. You're only down 10. A little sense of urgency. You got to get some movement. Keep your defense off the field.
Santana Moss, the motion man. Covington throws it up. There's a collision at the 40. Crowd wants flags, but they stay in the back pockets of the officials. Tate Cody on coverage.
Boy, Tate Cody got away with one there. In college football, you're allowed to make contact with the receiver until the ball is thrown. The ball is in the air. Tate Cody all over Wayne the whole way down the field. Florida State dodges a bullet there because that was pass interference on Tate Cody.
Second down, 10. Covington under center from the eye. Here comes James banging up the left side. Let's go to Timmy Brando in New York City with an update on Tennessee, Georgia.
Hey, Craig and Ed, what do you do when you don't have a Jamal Lewis? How about a little slip screen to Peerless Price from inside the 5? Thank you. This score becoming a bit of a shock. Dogs may be en route to their 9th straight home loss to a ranked team.
Boy, a little bit, not a shocker, but without Jamal Lewis, you figure Tennessee may struggle on offense. They become pretty dependent on him. A good showing by the Vols in the passing game today.
On the road for Tennessee. Miami 0 for 9 on third down conversions today. Make it 0 for 10. On the back again, no flags. This crowd's getting a little bit restless. Mario Edwards, number 15, on the coverage, but no flags tossed on her with Reggie Wayne looking for the reception.
Boy, there's 2 in a row that Florida State has really gotten away with. Mario Edwards, we could see it perfectly from our angle all over the back. He's trying to go through the receiver to get to the ball. Wayne, boy, Florida State just dodged 2 bullets on that drive.
Crossland back to kick inside his own 10. D. Feaster. And a fair catch at the 47. Florida State again will have fine field position, a 30-yard boot.
Enterprise? Hi, I'm at the repair shop. I need to rent a car.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Well, look at you.
Me.
You are one delicious-looking pizza.
Thanks a lot.
And there's only one thing that would make you an even better pizza.
What's that?
If you were me.
Funny.
Get 2 Little Caesars pizzas with 3 toppings for just $10.99.
Pizza, pizza.
At last, A mini SUV with enough power to take you anywhere you want to go. And enough space and comfort to make the journey enjoyable. Introducing the all-new V6 Grand Vitara from Suzuki.
Excuse me. Is that really a Suzuki? It's very nice.
The Heisman Watch, sponsored by Suzuki.
Tim Brando and Craig James here in New York. A look now at the latest in the Heisman Trophy race. The Longhorns' Ricky Williams had a big day in Big D.
Against an Oklahoma defense allowing only 2.9 per carry in the house that Dope built. Honoring Dope Walker, he wears number 37 today, and this guy got off. The last 2 years against Oklahoma, 360 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns. I'd say that's a Heisman Trophy day.
I bet he's on his way to the State Fair tonight. For more information on the Heisman Watch, log on to cbs.sportsline.com.
Cotton candy.
That's a good look at that Miami offensive front, taking a rest in a hot and humid day, and Miami down 10.
But their defense not able to take a rest. Miami on offense, too many 3-and-outs. This defense is going to start to wear down.
They had fine field position to start the third quarter, got the three-pointer from Janikowski, and this time they started at their own 47, but Miami's defense steps it up and throws the Seminoles for a 5-yard loss, and Damian Lewis led the charge of Orange.
Is that egg on my face?
Let me get that for you.
Damian Lewis just said,
right here.
Damian Lewis said, hey, Ed, shut up. I'm not tired. I'm ready to play. Damian Lewis is just a sophomore, had a great year as a freshman last year. When we talked to Bill Miller, the defense coordinator, said that Damian Lewis didn't have quite a good game last week against Rutgers, sat him down and said, look, if you're going to be considered one of the great defensive tackles in history at Miami, you're going to have to play hard every single Saturday.
2-yard loss. Winky play action going for the home run. And guess who was on the cover? Leonard Myers, 52 yards.
What I would like you to watch, well, besides the fact that Peter Warwick's going to run right by Leonard Myers, watch how Peter Warwick catches this football with his hands, goes up to catch it. What that allows a receiver to do is keep his feet moving. Everybody wants to talk about yards after the catch. The only way you get yards after the catch is use your God-given ability, your great hands that Peter Warwick has, leave your feet on the ground, and you can finish the run.
First and goal from the 3-yard line. On second effort, Cheney can't get in. He popped off the one orange jersey and nearly got in. Warwick, how about these numbers, Ed? 7 receptions, 190 yards, and that 62-yard touchdown. And Winky's numbers stacking up now, 16 of 25, 306.
No gain on the play.
He's got weapon after weapon. Peter Warwick had to go out after a big run like that. A little winded. Don't want him off the field too much if you're Chris Winky, though. Wave him back in. Hey, Coach, send number 9 back on the field for me, would you?
Had trouble getting in the end zone from inside the 10. This time, touchdown Seminoles. William McCray.
4 yards for the Florida State touchdown.
Fullback dive by William McCray. 6 foot, 222 pounds. It's the big boys up front. Nate Webster gets knocked out of his middle linebacker spot, opens up the hole for McCray. Just a little fullback dive. That's the type of football you got to play down around the goal line.
Janikowski, left footer, remains perfect on the year. 18 of 18. Florida State scoring 10 points here in the third quarter.
Where you choose to go to college is an important decision, and the University of Miami has some distinct advantages. Private, selective, comprehensive, challenging, medium size, research, location, scholarship, diversity, value. Take advantage of all we have to offer. The University of Miami.
Monday, the battle of the sexes heats up on Cosby.
When I get a boyfriend, he'll do what I say when I say.
That's not a boyfriend, that's a husband.
Then it's about betrayal, jealousy, and forbidden desire.
I need some kind of cake.
The King of Queens. Next, Ray's wife plots the ultimate revenge.
Holding back sex?
On Raymond.
You think that's going to get me? I'm a sex camel.
And has Brian's weight gain made him a love god?
I'm walking on air.
Find out on Ben Ben, all part of the new CBS Monday.
Well, we saw Bobby Bowden in the first half really chewing on that gum. He looks a little bit calmer now as the Seminoles have scored 17 unanswered.
William McRae takes it in to cap off the scoring drive. Fairly impressive. Didn't take a whole lot of time off the clock. Big play by Peter Ward, brought it down to the 2-yard line. McRae finished it off, the backup fullback. And the reason that Bobby Bowden is able to breathe a little easier, 90 yards of offense for his team, 9 for the other guys in the second half.
Actually a short kick. Najee Davenport to the 39.
Davenport returns the kickoff.
Well, if you're Butch Davis, you have a little heart palpitation there because a short kick for Stanikowski goes 6 yards deep into the end zone, but Davenport brings it out. A nice wedge by the Miami Hurricanes. They didn't come apart. They stayed together. Najee Davenport, just a freshman, a big guy at 225 pounds, bursts up a huge hole. Doesn't even get touched until about the 40-yard line.
44-yard return. Jackson now tries the near side to the 45. He'll pick up a 5.
Joaquin Gonzales plays right tackle. He's a redshirt freshman out of right here in Miami. He is our Scholar Athlete of the Week. The NASDAQ Scholar Athlete of the Week, Joaquin Gonzales. He was a walk-on at the University of Miami. Could have gone to any number of schools, including almost every school in the Ivy League. Wanted to stay close to home, now has a scholarship, and starting for the Hurricanes.
He was injured a little bit in that first half, but has bounced back. Jackson knew where to roam. Crashing in. That's Seymour, number 56, the left end.
You know, Florida State has, in my opinion, become known as defensive end university. You know, Penn State's linebacker U, Miami, arguably quarterback U, but Florida State has become defensive end university. Andre Wadsworth last year, Seymour this year. And when you watch them from the end zone camera on film, you can't tell who it is. They all look the same. They have the same stances, and they all get up the field.
Cut out of the same cookie cutter. Covington. Top flats. It was Moss up against Tate Cody. He's a great cover man, Ed, but I'm not sure about the coverage this time.
Santana Moss was second in the Big East in the 55-meter dash this spring. Actually coming back, and Cody gets that left hand tied up. Boy, the officials missed 2 pass interferences against Florida State last drive. If they would have missed that one.
On the defense, 10 yards, previous spot, automatic first down.
I think Butch Davis would have lost it. But interesting story with those wide receivers. All those super sophomores, Darryl Jones, Santana Moss, and Reggie Wayne, they made a pact between the 3 of them that they would not cut their hair until the University of Miami won a bowl game. I talked to Santana Moss and I said, hey, what if you guys go to a bowl game and don't win? So, well, we're getting kind of tired of this long hair. We'd have to talk about it then.
Kind of a retrospective look, isn't it, you know? A little 60, 70. Fulcher, the motion man, fumble on the play. Jackson covers up. Watch a simple pitch and go.
Jackson fumbles.
Sophomore is James Jackson out of Belglade, Florida.
If you're Miami on offense and you get a little break with the penalty, you got to take advantage of it. Jackson takes his eye off the ball looking for the lane, and that's a tough thing as a running back because the ball's being pitched. You kind of have to use your peripheral vision to see the field and see what's opening up, but you can't take your eye off the ball. A good pitch by Covington. Jackson just took his eye off it for a second.
Second down and 13, I formation. Darryl Jones checks in at the wide receiver looking for the slant. Covington is buried. Boy, good coverage by the Seminoles secondary. And Tony Bryant came in and just Well, dug a hole and then threw the sod back on him.
Tony Bryant's been playing with a bum shoulder all season long. The pocket just totally collapses on Covington. Boy, is that a lonely feeling as a quarterback. It's called a jailbreak. That's what, as an offensive lineman, we used to talk about the jailbreak. That's the 4th sack for Florida State today, but they have been all over the Miami offense.
0 for 10 on 3rd down. Covington in trouble. Down he goes. Biggest concern for Butch Davis. We've talked about it all day. Covington had to be protected. And Brian Allen came through that time.
Yeah, this defense, you kind of have to share the wealth a little bit. Tony Bryant, again, applying the pressure from the outside. Covington had to step up, and that middle linebacker, Allen, came on a blitz. He was right there to greet him.
Well, Crossland's had some problems getting a good kickoff. Miami needs a big boot right now from Crossland. D. Feaster back inside the 25. That ball takes a bounce and a hurricane bounce. Still on the roll to the 23. 40-yard kick. We'll start your Sunday off with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. There's the guys, Brent Jones, Jimmy Nance, and Coach George Seifert, and Marcus Allen tomorrow noon Eastern on CBS. And then the NASDAQ halftime report. All tomorrow. Doubleheader Sunday on CBS.
Butch Davis left the NFL to come back to the University of Miami. Coached for Jimmy Johnson at Miami. Then went to the Dallas Cowboys.
He's got some rings, doesn't he? Fumble, but then pulled down. Jeff Chaney playing hot potato. And, boy, he saved some trouble there down to the 22.
Jeff Chaney, an interesting story. He was a defensive back, a strong safety last year. He came to Florida State as a running back, a little bit overweight, was a little bit sluggish. He lost 10 pounds last year. They noticed his quickness had gotten better. They moved him back last spring to running back. Thank goodness they did. With Travis Minor out, we saw Minor a little bit early in the game, but Jeff Chaney had over 100 yards against Maryland, 89 yards versus USC, and he's had a decent game, put up some yards to end the half earlier in the game, but what a replacement for Travis Minor.
Great running back in high school, 3,000 yards, scored 48 touchdowns. Winky rolls and fires, incomplete.
You know, you take away a few big plays by Florida State in this game, and this Miami defense has not played that bad. I mean, they've been on this field a ton this entire game. This whole second half, it seems like all we've seen is the Miami defense out on the field. They continue to play hard. They're very well-conditioned athletes, but again, it's very difficult to play defense in this heat all the time and not have anybody come in and spell you like Florida State does. They're able to send so many guys in, but hats off to Miami. They've played hard from start to finish here today.
3rd down 9. Winky feels the pressure, throws up the rainbow, and knocked down. Myers, the cover man, and Lavernius Coles trying to use some of that flashy speed to burn Myers, and that ball hung up there. That brings up 4th down and a punting situation for Florida State.
Nice job by Miami's defense to get Florida State to have to punt it away. Leonard Myers been under duress all day, almost comes up with a big play, but at least knocks it away to force Florida State to have to punt it.
Timeout called on the field by Miami. Well, make sure you stick around tonight on CBS. Starts you off with Early Edition, followed by Martial Law and Walker, Texas Ranger. A fun-filled night tonight on CBS.
This game has become one of field position. The average start in the second half for Florida State has been their own 41-yard line, for Miami, the 26. But again, this Miami defense has done a nice job slowing down Florida State.
And let's run down the Big East standings so far as nearly halfway through the season. Up top, Virginia Tech, overall 5-0, undefeated in conference play. Syracuse, Donovan McNabb, 2-2, 1-0 in the conference. Miami hanging in there.
Miami's only lost to Virginia Tech, an overtime game right here at the Orange Bowl, but The one thing Miami does is has a little control of their destiny. They can't control Virginia Tech, but they play everybody ahead of them in the standings. So this Miami team can start to gel. A game like today is big for this young team.
Cottrell will kick. Ooh, nearly blocked. Gets it away. Myers watches it bounce down the sideline. Will you look at that? Inside the 10 of the 7. What a kick by Cottrell. 68 yards. Well, this has been a great series throughout the years. Let's take you back to 1991. Wide right 1. Florida State's Jerry Thomas gave Miami a 17-16 victory. 1992, how about wide right 2? Dan Mowry missing from 39 yards. Miami won again, 1916.
Bobby Bowden told us that Miami was the first school that wanted to play Florida State as Division I school, and now he says, I'd like to have them off. I have a feeling those 2 games are the reason we see that.
New quarterback Kenny Kelly is in and will gun it the first time he touches a football. A lot of high hopes about Kenny Kelly, but there's been some talk. Will he stay at the University of Miami?
Kenny Kelly was a second-round draft choice in 1997 by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 90% completions. He's only thrown 10 passes on the season. Covington has played almost every down, but Kelly, coach is very excited about him, want to get him some quality time in some games. That's why you see him here in the third quarter.
Florida State with a 24-7 lead. Miami makes the quarterback change. Covington really went 3 quarters. Now another flag hits the field.
Right tackle Joaquin Gonzales.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Second half possessions by Miami. Punt, punt, punt. It's not very good yardage on those 3 possessions as well.
3 and out, 5, and then minus 3 yards on that series.
But the one thing Butch Davis has to be happy about is at least his defense is still competing. The offense is kind of stalled, and that's probably why you see Kenny Kelly in the game. But the defense has played hard except for a few big plays.
Got to pound it from the backfield. Handoff. James Jackson, the ball carrier. He's got a lot of carries on the afternoon. Tommy Pauly knocked him down.
James Jackson has come in and done fairly well, spelling Edgerrin James. Najee Davenport had that 44-yard return. Joaquin Gonzales comes off the field with the hurt ankle. Number 76, Robert Sampson, goes in to replace him.
Third down at 12. Kelly. Reached up, grabbed it, a flag down inside the 15.
We've been fairly lucky with the flags this second half. I feel like our luck's going to change.
After the interception, got a block in the back, on the return, 10 yards, spot of the foul.
The good news for Florida State is that takes them out of the red area where they've been so poor this year. They go to the 24. It's tough enough being a freshman quarterback in Division I football, but Kenny Kelly locks on to number 18, Mondrell Fulcher. Throws a bad pass behind him. Pauly read his eyes the whole way. He just totally locked on to the tight end, and Kenny Kelly, kind of a trial by fire, and it's just a shame that he had to throw that ball behind Fulcher. But again, he had double coverage. He threw into it, but he had his eyes locked on it the whole way. That's going to tip off the entire defense where you're going.
Field position again in favor of Florida State. They start this drive after the interception at their own 24. Helmet comes off. There's no head inside, thank goodness, but a Seminole brings it down inside the 15. Well, what a run. Raymond Skaggs
I wonder, you know that hair club we talked about earlier with the wide receivers? I wonder if Rod Mack got into that. His hair is longer than all of those guys. Raymond Skaggs into the game because Jeff Chaney obviously needs a blow. Travis Miner's been taken out. Look at the block up the middle by the offensive line. They're just starting to pound away. That was Jason Whitaker, number 68, on Mack.
From the eye again, on the ground is Skaggs. Inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. First and goal, Michael Smith made the stop.
Raymond Skaggs, just a little itty-bitty guy compared to some of those big boys he's running into. 5'8", 173 pounds. You can't see him till the last second. There's big Whitaker following the ball. I mean, you got to figure Raymond's a little faster. He fumbles the ball at the end of the play, but able to recover it. But Skaggs can get in there behind those big guys. Whitaker goes 6'5", 300 pounds. Got in front of him. Hey, Raymond, you gotta hide behind him a little bit.
82 yards for Florida State, only 22 for the Hurricanes. Skaggs, this is only his third game played this season, a JC transfer from West LA College. Winky got batted away. Myers, Leonard Myers, able to bat the touchdown throw.
You know, the tough part for Florida State right now is they have the ball inside the 10-yard line, so they cannot get a first down. They either have to score or bring their kicker back out. Of course, we all know what a great kicker Janikowski is, but that's been Florida State's problem all years. They cannot score in the red zone.
You look at Bobby Bowden in his 23rd year. 5th all-time winningest coach. Second down 9. Pitch play. Skaggs, little guy, skips out of the tackle. Oh, he's a bruiser. Lost the football. And Miami's pointing the other way.
Second time Skaggs has fumbled in this series.
Well, they're trying to umpile him. And it's going to belong to the Orange.
Bobby Bowden had to get some rest for Jeff Chaney. Got Skaggs in, but when you fumble twice in the same series, not going to be on the field for very long. Number 20, Reed, is in there to make the hit. Miami, that's swarming defense. Well, I tell you, with no subs and those guys being on the field the whole time, those orange jerseys are still flying around the field.
And it was your hair man who picked up that loose ball. Rod Mack, number 51, out of Miami.
It's because he pulls his hair back. It's not down in his eyes. You can see that football.